Mr. Mayor, we live.
Great, thank you for that. So today is November 16th, 2022. The time is 7:10 p.m. and I'm calling to order the Ballpark City Council regular meeting. Do we have anybody for an invocation? Would our housing commissioner mind leading us in an invocation?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much just for this opportunity to come together as a community to discuss all the planning, the different things that are going on. We also thank you for this season that we're in of thankfulness. I pray for each family that is represented in this room, those that are watching online at home, and the other council members who are also at home. I pray that you be a part of this meeting, continue to just bless us and be a community that comes together. And we thank you so much. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
The
America,
United States of America,
Republic
and
for which it
the
stands,
republic for
one
which it
nation,
stands,
under God,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, would you mind doing a roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Alejandra Avila. Here. Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Here.
Mayor Manuel Estrada.
Here.
And City Treasurer Marie Contreras.
Here.
Hi, Marie. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing. Thank you. Congratulations to all.
Thank you. And so at this moment, City Attorney, can you please report out from closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier today, the City Council held a amended special meeting to discuss the closed session items. The items are listed on the amended special meeting agenda. The first was a conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation regarding the claims that were listed on the agenda. City Council did not discuss that item and will be continued to a later date. Item number 2 was conference with legal counsel, existing litigation in the matters described on the agenda. With respect to that item, all council members were present except that Mayor Pro Tem Damian did not participate in the Kuberry, Hemingway, Finley matter. But with respect to all the other matters, the City Council heard a presentation and an update on those cases from special counsel and legal counsel. There was also discussion of public employment regarding human resources manager. City Council heard a presentation from staff regarding the status of the selection of a candidate. And then finally, there was also a conference with real property negotiators concerning the property located at 4161 Baldwin Park Avenue under negotiation or under discussion were price and terms for possible purchase of property. City Council heard a presentation regarding that matter and provided direction, and we have no reportable action. That concludes the report.
Great, thank you for that, City Attorney. So at this moment, I will move to adjourn the closed session. The special meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any objections? If not, special meeting is adjourned, and we continue with our regular meeting. So announcements: the City Council are also members of the Board of Directors of the Housing Authority and Finance Authority, which are concurrently convening with the City Council this evening, and each council member is paid an additional stipend of $30 for attending the Housing Authority meeting and $50 for attending the Finance Authority meeting. Now we move on to our proclamations, commendations, and presentations. All right, so we will go ahead and do our presentations. All right, so at this moment, we will do a proclamation for Family Court Awareness Month. And I believe we have Donna Esteves with us and Sandy Ross. Sandy Ross here? If not, Donna Esteves, you can join us up here at the dais. So for anybody who's not aware, Peaky's Law is a bill that was authored by our very own Senator Susan Rubio, which mandates judges to take training on domestic violence and child abuse, to prioritize child safety in custody proceedings, and clarifies California's ban. And I have a proclamation for you, which I will read. So, in 2017, Peaky, a 5-year-old, was suffocated by his biological father during an approved court visit, despite his father's history of abusive behavior and his mother, Ana Esteves, plea to the court to protect him. And whereas to honor Peaky and all the California children who have been murdered by a divorcing or separating parent, and the conservatively estimated 58,000 U.S. children annually are being court-ordered into unsupervised visitation with an abusive parent. And whereas the mission of the FCAMC is to increase awareness on the importance of empirically based education and training on domestic violence and child abuse, including emotional, psychological, physical, and sexual abuse, as well as childhood trauma and post-separation abuse for judges and all professionals working on cases within the family court system. And whereas the mission of FCAMC is to emphasize the importance of using scientifically valid, evidence-based treatment programs and services that are proven in terms of safety, effectiveness, and the therapeutic value. And whereas together we work together to educate judges and other family court professionals on evidence-based, peer-reviewed research, such research is a critical component to making decisions that are truly in the best interest of children. Now, therefore, I, Emmanuel J. Estrada, Mayor of the City of Baldwin Park, along with Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian, Council Members Alejandra Avila, Monica Garcia, Paul C. Hernandez, City Treasurer Maria A. Contreras, and City Clerk Marlene Garcia, do hereby proclaim the November 2022 as Family Court Awareness Month in the City of Baldwin Park, and proclaim and encourage all residents and community members to support local group events to educate ourselves and prevent the harm of children in the hands of family members, and to honor and value the lives of children.
Good evening, Mayor Estrada, City Council. And I want to thank you for proclaiming the November is Family Court Awareness Month. My name is Donna Esteves. I'm a grandmother of a murdered child and child safety advocate, bringing awareness on serious child safety issues that are happening in the family court system. 5 years ago, I ended up in family court system, dealing with issues related to child safety, and had no idea how hard it would be to protect my grandchild. Family court rulings are widely based on parents getting a fair share of parenting time with the child, even more than the safety of the child or the parent. Child protection is viewed as the job of social services, but family courts are ruling on cases with child abuse concerns every day. Most would be shocked to know that in many states, family court judges on the bench making rulings that impact children's lives have 0 mandated training hours in childhood trauma, child emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, coercive control, and domestic violence. In many states, barbers and beauticians are mandated to have more domestic violence training than its judges. Here are some of the related statistics. 1 in 15 children are victims of child abuse, usually by a family or parent. 75% of CSA is perpetrated by family members or a person known to the child. That's child sexual abuse. Members are almost half, 49% of the perpetrators of crimes against child sexual assault victims younger than 6 years of age. That's statistics from the Department of Justice. More than 50% of the time when an allegation of child sexual abuse is raised, The courts are switching physical custody to the alleged abuser, which happened in our case. A child's exposure to an abuser is among the strongest indicators of risk of incest victimization. Abusive parents are more likely to seek sole custody than non-violent ones, and they are successful about 70% of the time. Domestic violence often worsens after separation or divorce, with the focus turned to the children, with up to 60% of perpetrators who abuse their spouse will abuse the child. Domestic violence is about power and control. The desire to maintain power and control doesn't mysteriously vanish when the relationship ends. The family court system becomes a new and highly effective platform for abusers, and those abusers know how to manipulate the courts. Our primary goal this year is also to shine a spotlight on the need for mandated training for judges and family court professionals who are ruling on cases with child safety and domestic violence concerns every day. Our children's lives are literally dependent on the courts as becoming educated on these issues. It means the world, not only to me, but to all the other parents in the state of California, actually the United States. We have family court cases.
So at this moment, we will welcome our Housing Commissioner, Laura Franklin, to give us a presentation on the celebration of Black History Month for February 2023.
Good evening, Mayor Estrada, Mayor Pro Tem Damian, City Council members, and esteemed guests, as well as the Baldwin Park community. As Mayor has said, my name is Laura Franklin. I'm one of the Housing Commissioners, but I'm here to present on celebrating Black History Month for February 2023. Next slide, please. So I do not have my glasses on. So I'm going to attempt, because I'm nearsighted, so I'm going to attempt. So the significance is recently in February 2022, I was sworn in as Housing Commissioner by Mayor Estrada. So with this proclamation and declaration, it warrants a celebration. So why celebrate Black History Month? It's because it's part of the fabric that makes Baldwin Park the community that it is. African Americans make up 1.41% of Baldwin Park. Now, this celebration allows us to tell our history. So what does Black History Month mean to me? It just means that I know that this city is bigger than what it portrays to be, that we're part of the fabric of this community, and there are more of us here who want to get involved, but just don't know how to, and that's why it's important. Next slide, please. So as you see, my picture with Mayor Estrada in February 2022, as well as that delicious box of Cheetos behind him. But I just wanted to show the community the picture of us. Next slide, please. So just a quick overview. Who? This invitation is extended to all profit and nonprofit organizations, African American, Hispanic, Asian, and Caucasian, wishing to participate by selling food products and or their services. Because we want to celebrate all of the hues that make up the city of Baldwin Park, but the focus will be to celebrate Black History Month, but it is fully inclusive. When? Possibly February 18th or the 25th, 2023, 11:30 to 2. February 11th is Super Bowl weekend, so I dare not try to compete with that weekend. And the first weekend of February tends to be, you kind of lose some time with that as far as advertising. And then what? Just to give recognition, invoke celebration, provide education, and share our faith through history. And why? Because all cultures of Baldwin Park should be celebrated. Next slide, please. So what this looks like, as you see in both slides, that's me. I'm at a Juneteenth celebration. I was a vendor there. And what this will look like is we invite, again, all vendors of all hues of whatever product that they make or sell throughout either the ARC, our foyer here outside the Baldwin Park City Hall, as well as outside in the front, where each vendor will set up their own table, set up their tables to sell their products, of course, at whatever cost that they have. But again, this also includes all hues of Baldwin Park. Next slide, please. So it may be kind of small to see, but it's just a projected Black History celebration. Of course, the first event being February 2023 to include vendors, dancers, orators, authors, Black art displays, and music. And then should this continue to be an annual celebration, eventually we'd like to also celebrate Juneteenth, but that's further down the line, but I just wanted the community to see that timeline. Next slide, please. So just some interesting facts that our community may not know. In 1926, Carter G. Woodson launched a week-long celebration of Black history in the United States. In 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognizes Black History Month. And Black History Month is also celebrated by Canada, Ireland, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom. And African Americans, again, make up 1.41% of Baldwin Park residents. Next slide, please. So here again, presenting arts, education, literature, and science, just a few examples of what African Americans bring not only to this community, but of course, nationally. We have the music of Miles Davis, the artwork of Valdez Partee, which is a dear friend of mine, the writing of myself, Laura Franklin, and then we have, the last one is an educator, Miss Ellie Ty. She's been a resident of Baldwin Park since 1974. Next slide, please. So ways we can celebrate as a community: provide full support from our city leaders, discover African American artists through displays of artwork in the courtyard of City Hall, Baldwin Park Library, and the ARC, paint the crosswalk in African American colors through Main Street, raise the African American flag in downtown Baldwin Park, read about African American authors, listen to African American musicians, learn and teach important moments of African American history. Next slide, please. And then the key people that will assist in making this happen, of course, our first responders, our law enforcement, the City of Baldwin Park city leaders, as well as the community at large. Next slide, please. And in conclusion, this project cannot be successful without the full backing and support of our City Council, City Hall, city employees, first responders, local businesses, and the residents of this community collectively. Next slide, please. Again, I would like to say thank you, and we hope that you will consider supporting the 2023 Black History event as a celebration for Baldwin Park and show that this city is a community which embraces cultural diversity. This project, again, cannot be successful without the full backing and support of our city council, city hall, city employees, first responders, local businesses, and the residents of this great community. This event will be a great opportunity to expose the community and local businesses to a culture it may not have known before. If you have any questions or concerns, my contact information is there, my email. Next slide, please. And last but not least, any questions?
No questions, but it sounds like a great event. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you need help with.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, making sure that everybody
Thank you.
in the city of, yeah, okay, thank you. Next, we have a presentation by our very own city staff regarding the property at, is it Olive and Main Avenue?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm going to ask Melissa to also come up to the podium, if you may, please. Melissa, you and I will tag team on this one. So this is a presentation that came about as a result of a direction that Councilmember Garcia had asked the staff to keep this particular location as an item of follow-up in all of the council meetings. And so this is the first in a series, but depending on what after today's presentation, we will either have it in every meeting or certainly frequently enough, but our intent is to stay with the spirit of the instruction or the letter of the instruction from Councilmember Garcia. And the direction came as a result of what has become at times a blighted location with either dumping of bulky items, accumulation of debris, and temporarily and sometimes briefly, but certainly very concerning sometimes the building of homeless encampments. And as all of you know, since of course you know the city well inside out, Olive Street is a passageway or a pathway for school children going to and from school. So I visited the site along with Ron Garcia and the chief of police, and it just happened to be during the school hours. And so, yes, got to talk with some of the students about what they encountered. And so, yeah, we definitely want to keep an eye on this property. But what we wanted to do today, give you a refresher or a presentation of the lay of the land, literally, with regards to what makes up the corner, because we refer to it as the corner of Olive Street and Main or the Olive Street Market, when in fact it's a conglomerate of multiple parcels with multiple owners. But we will continue to refer to it as the Olive Street and Main Avenue corner. So next slide, please. Here you could see how many parcels make up the corner. What stands out here very obviously is the largest property, which is over 1 acre, which is where a current shopping center exists. At the very corner where the building in question sits is a parcel that is under half an acre, 0.34 acres. And there's an adjacent building that at times would appear to be part of the same parcel, but it's not. It's a separate, distinct parcel owned by a different owner. In total, this corner ends up being 7 different parcels with, I believe, 6 or 5 owners. So on the southern portion of it would be the American Legion, which is probably better known to most of us. But we have included the property because we believe it needs to be looked at in the context of the larger property. Next slide, please. So this is the zoning of the area and the parcels in question in particular. And since it deals with zoning, Mel, do you mind explaining the zoning of the parcels?
Okay, so the whole corner of Olive and Main Avenue is zoned mixed use too. Right now, some of the current, well, most of the current businesses there are legal non-conforming because of the time that they started conducting their business, the code allowed for it. But now our current code, a mixed use too, the city aims to have a mixture of commercial on the first floor and some sort of residential aspect on the second floor or above. So that's what in the future we as a city hope to go towards.
Thank you, Melissa. Next slide, please. Okay, here we number the parcels just for ease of being able to track it, and we show the existing use or state of condition, if you will. The largest parcel is a shopping center, also a legal non-conforming use since it's now has been rezoned for mixed use. Number two is the building that sits vacant. And by the way, I want to report that there's a small portion that's attached to the building which had been used as a place where unhoused individuals, unhoused persons would essentially habitate. They would go inside of this small area that looks more like a container compartment and live there. So in working with the owner, they have now secured the area by putting more heavy duty locks, ensuring that it's always kept away from being accessed. So we've done that. I wanted to report that because I know that's something that Councilmember Garcia wanted us to address immediately, and we did. So that building has sat vacant, and it's still vacant. We didn't get a chance to go inside, but I know our code enforcement folks and our building official may have gone inside at some point, but we didn't that time. There is a parcel number 3 is currently being used. And again, this is a bit deceiving because most of us would think of it as being part of the corner building, but it's not. And it's good to see that it's being utilized. It's actually a fitness studio, which, on my way home later in the evening, I see folks going in there for fitness. I'm always tempted to make a stop and do my workouts there. So there's a liquor store on parcel number 4. And in between all of this, there's a single family residence. As you can see, number 5, owner occupied. 6 and 7 are actually both owned by the American Legion. So number 6 is their parking lot. Number 7 is their building, but 2 distinct parcels, 2 different parcels. Next slide will show the ownership. There you have who owns each of the parcels. And so, we've reached out to some of the owners already, certainly for parcel number 2. We have made contact with the owner who happens to run the liquor store that's in parcel number 4. So the liquor store operator owns the corner building. And so here we list, this is public information, so it's not a problem showing who the owners are. Next slide. These are some of the pictures of the current buildings and their current use. You could see that the market, Olive Market, from the outside doesn't necessarily seem as a very neglected building, but we know that inside we have to do more diligence to see what the state of the inside of the building is, so that there isn't any sort of cause for a public health risk, such as these buildings, if they go neglected for a long time, can be a harborage for vermin and other such, potential health hazards. So we will continue to work with the owner on that. Next slide. These are more pictures. Again, the single-family dwelling nestled in between all the commercial buildings, also a non-conforming legal use, right, Melissa? And so the American Legion building, which thanks to the city's grant, have been able to really bring some much needed renovations to the building, for sure on the outside, but also on the inside. Next slide. Maybe this is the end. Yeah, I think that was. So for today, we simply wanted to do a baseline presentation, no recommendations, no actions whatsoever. Just wanted to begin bringing this to the fore as Councilmember Garcia had requested that we do. That's the end of the presentation. If there are any questions from the council, then.
Mayor, I do have some comments and possibly questions, but first of all, I want to say thank you to our staff for responding to the site and securing it and ensuring that there were no, I guess, trespassers onto the site. This was an issue that was brought to my attention from the neighborhood, and it's been an ongoing concern in the neighborhood. This property has been vacant for at least 8 years, if not more. And there was a fire inside this property, and I don't know if, I mean, it appears as though improvements were not made. I could be wrong, but the picture that we didn't capture was the entrance with broken windows. And, this is probably a good example of the broken window theory. So I'm just glad to see that staff responded and secured the site, because my concern is we do have children passing through there. It's becoming part of their everyday environment. And they look at this site, I'm sure, and they think, this is just my community. And neither of us, none of us, should tolerate the eyesore or the nuisance that this property has become. And thank you for getting into detail, Enrique, about the exact property of concern, which is what you've labeled as number 2. And I would like the chief at the next briefing to let us know the incidents that have occurred here at this site in the last 2 years, because I do recall that there was a stabbing involving a homeless person. But there have been other issues because I've called personally on behalf of residents that have called me. And so, if we can look at the public safety aspect of having this property sit vacant for as long as it has, I think that's another element that we should consider. So I do appreciate, again, staff's responsiveness. Looking at the aerial and some of the pictures is a start. Securing the site is a start. Looking at the land use and what's allowed and what is being proposed. And, that would be one angle. The public safety piece is another. And then the multi-property owners, and the challenges that presents could be another angle. But I have been bringing this property to the attention of staff for years now, because residents have brought it to my attention. And I feel like now we really have to see some movement. So thank you for that information. And I would ask that at the next briefing that the chief, if you could present any statistics that you may have. I know specifically of one that was troublesome and pretty bad, but I do know that the police cars will often, sit in that parking lot, perhaps because it's a property to keep an eye out on. But I see them there pretty often, and that's a good thing. So I look forward to the next briefing on this property. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Garcia.
Thanks. So I know that the property owners of that property labeled number 2 have tried to bring people in, and I think one of them was Victory Outreach, and they might have had at least 1 or 2 other businesses that wanted to come in there. So, I do think that we have to work with them, because it seems like the only other way that that space is going to get used if it's demolished and multi-use is brought in, which I mean is a long shot. It's very expensive, and with the current times, it's just not going to happen anytime soon. I do think that, the city does bear a responsibility here based on the zoning that we input on them, and trying to kind of bend their arm here to do what we want them to do. So, I think there's a lot of things going on here. So we should be working with the property owner to figure out how we can help them fill that property if that's the most beneficial way to get that property used.
Will do.
Thanks. So now that we are done with our proclamations, commendations, presentations, I will move to open up public communication. City Clerk, is there anybody looking to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. We did not receive any requests for telephone calls, but we do have a written request, Catherine Lozier, our library updates.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council and community. As we move towards the holiday season, I just wanted to remind the council and community that the library offers free COVID test kits. Family members can come in and pick up 2 kits for each member of their household. Not all members need to be in the library. They can pick them up each day as needed. You do not need to have a library card. You can just come in, or for those who are weary about coming into buildings still, you can give us a call from the parking lot and we can bring them out to you curbside service style. And these COVID tests are provided to the LA County Library from the Los Angeles County of Public Health. Switching gears, we have 2 programs in person coming up coming up this week, actually. We have our MakeMo, which is STEM programming for children. It's going to take place on Friday, the 18th, from 3:30 to 4:30. We are going to have our Ozobots, cute little robots, and it's going to be teaching kids 5 through 12 basic coding skills. It is recommended to make your reservation in advance, and you can do that now by going to the library's website or giving us a call. And then for teens, this Saturday, we have a DIY tote bag program at 3 o'clock. Teens will learn the history of the tote bag, which I'm sure they've all been dying to know. And then they'll also get to make their own tote bag while in the program. And for those who have teens who need community service, they can get community service by joining our library programs. Thank you so much for all that you do, and we hope to see you at the library.
Is that the only written one? At this moment, if anybody would like to speak that didn't fill out a speaker card, now is your time. Sure.
I've been dying to get up here.
Okay, so just keep an eye on the timer. You have 3
minutes.
How y'all doing?
Okay. Good. All right. Excellent. I'll introduce myself. Some of y'all you might know me around the city. My name is Brandon Logan Bender, and I'm very excited about February and celebrating with you. My grandmother was also, she fled the war in Sicily, and she was born in Tunisia, Africa, and I have a lot of family in South Africa. So I'm really excited. I'm part of that 1% of Baldwin Park. I would like to speak about, and I was a master at arms in the Navy. I was the global director of UFC Gym for the MMA program, our mixed martial arts. And I helped develop our youth program as a first youth director. I created my own position in the company. With that being said, I was arrested. Not arrested. Okay, someone was running after my mother with a sharp object. Okay, and I threw him to the ground. Okay, and now then attack my mother. Okay, then Baldwin Park PD tried to get on top of me, and I'm not being resistant at all. And being a master at arms in the Navy for 6 years as a reserve officer, I know the procedures. I was treated very inhumane, okay? Not like a human being. Arrested against my will, saying I'm not arrested. Then I get in the back of the cop car, and I might need another 3 minutes, but I'll summarize it, okay? I'm left in the back seat of the cop car with the engine turned on. Anybody know about that? I could not breathe. I am screaming. I cannot breathe in the back of the cop car because the engine is turned on. And I'm being told I'm not arrested. They handcuffed me incorrectly. I am begging them because it is breaking my hands the way they cuffed me. Inhumane. Then I'm told I'm not being arrested. I said, I need to speak to a lawyer. I feel like I'm getting drugged in there. They're bringing in different people. I'm not being held against my will. Then all of a sudden, I have 10 people or more force me against my, well, actually I stick my nose out of, there was a little hole. I stuck my nose and my mouth out, the only way to breathe. Okay? Then I get dragged on a gurney against my will, with 10 people holding me down. Dragged into the hospital with a bunch of people trying to put needles in my arm. And I have a missing daughter that Baldwin Park does not seem to care about.
Your time is up, sir.
Thank you for your time. I hope to make the city of Baldwin Park a better place. Shed light on the situation.
Thank you. Your time is up, sir.
Thank you.
No one's claps for me, huh?
Anybody else looking to speak?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Just want to give the council a thank you on behalf of the seniors and myself for the new TVs that are being installed at the Juliet McNeil Senior Center. It's been 12 long years since I've been asking for one TV, and you made it happen for 4 TVs. So they should be installed and be ready for the Mundial. So it's been 12 long years. Every 4 years, I would ask for one TV, and then nothing happened. Second Mundial comes over, ask and ask, and finally, it's going to happen. So thank you on behalf of the seniors and myself. Thank you.
Great. Anybody else? If not, at this moment, I will close public communication and we will go to our consent calendar.
Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Before we end the meeting, I want to make sure that we close this meeting on behalf of my aunt, Rebecca Delgado de Gonzalez. She passed on November the 2nd as a result of a high-speed car accident by a young individual who was unaware of their speed. As a result, she is leaving behind a family of grieving members, not only myself, but also her beloved sons and daughters and grandchildren. She passes away at the young age of 73 years old, with also, this is a very much preventable accident if someone was being respectful of at least the speeds within her neighborhoods that she passed. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for sharing with us, Councilmember Hernandez. We do share our condolences with you during this hard time.
Very sorry for your loss, Mr. Hernandez.
Great. So we will be moving to our consent calendar. If there's any items council is looking to pull, now is your time. I believe we will be pulling item number 7.
Mayor, I'd like to pull item number 4.
Okay. Any other items? So, I guess I'll just pull item number 5 real fast. So I will make a motion to pass items number 1 through 8, excluding 4 and 5, and having item 7 completely removed from today's city council meeting for a future date. Can I get a second? City clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that. So, Mayor Pro Tem, you have the floor with item number 7. I mean, sorry, item number 4.
Thank you, Mayor. So item number 4 is the Shop Local Digital Gift Card Program. Enrique, I don't know if Victor's with you. Do you guys have a presentation on this?
Yes, Victor is here, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes,
Great.
we also have Barry Foster. He's with HDL. He's available by Zoom for the presentation. I'll give a quick overview of the program.
What's the name?
Barry Foster. He was on earlier.
I'm on. Do you want me to do it now?
Yeah, go ahead, Barry.
Okay, thank you. Again, my name is Barry Foster. I'm a principal and managing director with the HDL companies. I manage our economic development division of our company. So I'm going to go through just a quick PowerPoint to hit some of the high points of the Shop Local digital gift card program. Just to give you a sense of what it is and all the many benefits that Baldwin Park can get from it. Can you go to the next slide? So, you know, this is an interesting program because it really is a win-win-win. It's a win for the city. It's a win for your local residents that participate in buying the digital gift cards. And certainly it's a win for your local businesses, especially small independent owned businesses. We've, as a company, done work for 20 cities with ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act. In a number of those cities, we look to do a digital gift card program as part of the recovery for small businesses. And so we've done 12 of these now and we're working on several more opportunities. So we really have learned the benefits of these, what works, what doesn't work. And so we actually, because we kept running into YIFTI in a lot of these programs and cities all over the state, we actually entered into a partnership with them. Can you go to the next slide? So again, HDL has been around for a little over 39 years. We're gonna have a 40-year celebration next year. We're based in Orange County. We do work for about 500 local governments, a lot in California. For Baldwin Park, we currently provide sales tax and property tax consulting services for the city. So my division was started in 2014 to work with cities on economic development services, all kinds of different types of economic development services, products, programs. We've worked with 175 local governments, mostly cities, during the last almost 8.5 years. Next. So again, we got into doing a number of these Shop Local digital gift card programs with YIFTI. So here's the list of those. There's a number of these there's probably 5 that we're currently working on right now, where we've just implemented them. Some of them we've actually sold already, and we're looking to do a second phase, and some we're just getting ready to kick off in the next week or so. A lot of them have been motivated to get these up and running to capture sales and the opportunities with the holiday season that's going to be upon us pretty quickly if it's not here already. We can just see the different types of cities, that some larger cities, some kind of mid-sized, and then some smaller cities in terms of population and makeup of those communities. Next. So what we offer is to really come in and help be the partner with the city, and then working with EFT because of that relationship that we have with them, to really put together your program and help manage it. Again, we've done it in a lot of different cities, so we have a lot of experience having done this many times, and really what works, and then more importantly, what doesn't work. And so we identified the level of funding. We've been working with your staff on that. We help identify eligible businesses, business types that really have been impacted by COVID and the pandemic, and who can really kind of benefit from this kind of program. We assist in setting up and managing everything to do with the EFT account and working with them. And we have that relationship where we get, superior customer service and interaction with them. And then we help create a graphics program, establish a brand. Even though you don't have a physical gift card, you want to create a brand and a theme to market this program. And then we'll act as a single point of contact for business owners, and then work with EFT to provide that really excellent customer service, which is something that our company's always been proud of. And then as we're doing this thing and kicking it off, we're going to monitor what people are spending their money on, where they're spending it on. And again, when we do this program, we target eligible businesses. And so you've developed, and we worked with your staff on determining the right types of businesses to participate in this program from a merchant perspective. So again, it's monitoring, tracking, and looking at the positive results from the program. Next. Again, shop local programs are really, really important now. Our company does sales tax for probably close to 400 cities in California, most of the counties. And so we see all that sales tax data. From a positive standpoint, sales tax has bounced back from pre-pandemic levels. It's actually increased in most communities, but that doesn't really tell the whole total story. Small businesses and independent business especially still suffer. They're still struggling with the whole pandemic and the impacts of that, and COVID and everything else. So they really are, even though their sales have increased in a lot of cases, they've had challenges with restaurants, with labor shortages, having to pay more for labor, just all the different kinds of products that go into a restaurant and a small retailer. Fitness, personal services, all those kinds of things, they really are struggling. They're not back to pre-pandemic in terms of margins and achieving cash flow. And so working with your small businesses, doing that shop local, really, really is important. People want to spend their money. Consumers want to spend their money. We need to figure out ways that they can spend their money locally in Baldwin Park. When you look at a small business, $68 of everything that is produced from a small business locally stays there locally, and it goes into all kinds of other things in the community. When you're looking at a non-local and more of a corporation or more of a national business, only $43 stay there locally out of $100 spent. So again, those small businesses, they're really, really super important. Next. EFT, they really are kind of the dominant player here. They've done over 400 gift card programs across the United States and 49 of the 50 states. They've done over 150 programs in California. And as we started looking for a partner to do this with, they're the logical company for us to partner with. They have the best customer service. They have the best track record. They've done the most programs. They really are, kind of the cream of the crop in terms of doing these digital gift card programs. Next. Here's just an example of the branding for one city. And this actually, when you get your merchants and somebody goes on their phone or on their computer to buy a gift card, they have the amounts in there, and then they can go ahead and purchase the gift cards. There'll be a map on there that will show businesses, merchants that are participating in the program. We like to see at least 15 to 20 to start with. I think in Baldwin Park, we'll get more than that. And we're getting that in a lot more than we're getting in some places. We're getting 35 to 45 different participating merchants. You want to have a good mix of merchants that are attractive, that people want to buy these cards for. Next. It doesn't take anything special. Most businesses, if they can take a credit card, it works with that. And so EFT's partner is MasterCard. And so this is just like doing a MasterCard transaction. Next. Here's that map I was talking about. When you go up and you go through the EFT website, you're going to see all the different businesses and merchants that are participating in the program in Baldwin Park. And so they're going to identify who they are. You can see where they're located. But again, we're looking for a lot of diversity in terms of merchants to participate in this program. Next. And then we've been working with your staff in terms of, and this is, again, we've looked at a lot of other communities that we've done this in, what works, what doesn't work. And so the businesses that would be eligible are small, independently owned businesses. We're not looking for the corporate large companies. We're looking for businesses that have 10 or fewer employees, have been operating for at least a year, be a brick and mortar business, not home base. But it's looking at eligible businesses being retailers, restaurants, personal services, and that can be hairstylists, barbers, dry cleaners, salons, fitness uses, all that kind of thing. Those that are not eligible are gas stations, grocery stores, cannabis, massage, and you can see the rest of those there. And again, we're not looking for the corporate businesses, we're looking at small, independent owned businesses. Next. And again, this kind of focuses on that return on investment and the different kinds of things that you're getting. Again, I talked about it being a win-win-win. So it really is, it's a win for those small businesses. It's a win for your residents. So we're recommending doing a buy one, get one free, and using some of your ARPA dollars to help with that that bonus card. And as part of it, you're also going to go ahead and pay for the transaction costs when they purchase the original gift card. It's $1 times 5% of the value of the card. And so we're using ARPA dollars to help stimulate that activity and get this program going. So it's giving your residents that that positive aspect to it, where they've got a bonus card, but then they're spending their money locally. And I think kind of it's important to show is that on average, 51% of the cardholders, when they're making their purchases, they're trying places that they never tried before. So again, stimulating activity in your business community. You want to have a good diversity of places that they can pick and choose from, but they're trying new things too. 92% of the cardholders really, they prefer to shop local over national gift cards. And so it's looking at getting that really high-end return on investment in your local business, in your small independent owned businesses. That's really, really important. So again, this is kind of the gift that keeps giving. And then the other thing that helps the city, you're getting new sales tax revenue too. So it really is a win-win-win. Next. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Our contract is we're going to go ahead and put everything together for you to manage the program. We have a contract with a not to exceed cost of $12,500. That's based on actually us doing the work for it. And again, we've done 12 of these. We're currently, I think, doing 5 or 6 of these now, and then we have a few more coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But we've picked up a lot of experience and look forward to the opportunity to work with Baldwin Park.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Appreciate that presentation. So I do have a couple of questions from reading the staff report. So the cost paid to YIFTI, according to the staff report, states that the value of the bonus card provided. So can you, Victor or Enrique, can you just clarify for me the cost of $115,000 that's going to be used from the ARPA funds? What exactly does that amount cover?
Well, that amount's going to cover the PSA with HDL. It's going to cover YIFTI's fees, which is that the $1 plus 5%, and then what's left over is going to be the matching amounts of the bonus card that the participants are going to get.
Got it. So just as an example, if I purchase a $100 gift card, I'm going to automatically get another $100 gift card for free. So it's buy one, get one free.
Correct.
And the city will cover that bonus card.
Correct, yes.
And in this amount is also included the 12,500 contract to HDL.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then the merchant. So for example, the business, let's just say I wanted to opt in and participate in this program, and I am accepting these gift cards at my business. The only cost that's going to cost me is going to be the MasterCard merchant fees that I would be charged by MasterCard when I swipe that card, correct?
Yes.
Correct, yes.
So that we're talking about anywhere from 1.5 to 2.9% for swiping, and maybe a 3.5 for key entry, correct? That's what the businesses would pay.
It's the same as any other credit card transaction if you're doing it on the phone.
Okay, and that's the only fees that the business would pay?
Correct. And they don't need any special equipment. 99% of these people already have a POS, and they have the ability to do these.
Okay. And then my second question is, I did read that the Baldwin Park Association has agreed to assist in the recruitment of participating businesses. So will the business association only recruit businesses who are part of the business association, or will they recruit businesses in the city in general that basically qualify based on the eligibility on the staff report?
Let me answer that one, Victor. We engage with the business association, Mayor Pro Tem, and not because we wanted it to be exclusive to the members of the association, but it also has a corollary benefit for the association, for them to market their mission and their very existence here in the city, because many businesses do not know of the Baldwin Park Business Association and the many other related services that they provide. If nothing else, certainly peer exchange. But so we engage with them for that reason, and so they jumped at the opportunity. They're going to help us. If what comes out of their engagement and their participation is that businesses believe that being members or becoming members of the association is a good thing for them, it is not at all a condition.
Got it. But I just want to make sure that when they are out there actively recruiting these businesses, obviously, I don't have a problem with them recruiting or, approaching members of their association first. But I just want to make sure that we're not leaving any other small businesses aside that are currently not part of the business association. So I just want to make sure that when they're doing the recruiting efforts, that they're not just recruiting members of the association, but also recruiting businesses within the city that fall within the eligibility criteria that are not, currently members of the association.
We'll make sure of that, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay.
And we're looking at working with the business association. It's just one avenue of recruiting businesses. Barry and I will probably also be very active going out there and visiting businesses. I've already let kind of a couple of businesses know this may be coming down the road and be a great opportunity. But working at the business association, that's just going to be one avenue where we definitely want to get as many businesses that are eligible to participate as possible and give the users of the cards a wide variety of businesses to visit in the city, and hopefully some businesses they've never been to before that didn't even know we're there.
Perfect. Yeah. And then my last question is, I seen on the slide that the rollout is about 3 weeks. So are we going to be in time for the holidays, since 3 weeks is what, probably about December 7th is 3 weeks from now. So we'll be in time for Christmas.
We are ready to go on this. If you approve it tonight and we get the contracts executed, we've already kind of started to lay some of the groundwork, and we are again, we've done like 3 or 4 of these in the last couple of weeks, and we are chomping at the bit to get going. So we will do everything we possibly can to get going and roll this thing out with 3 weeks. It's going to be really dependent upon your business association, Victor, us getting ready to go out, and again, we like to see at least 12 to 15 to more like 20 merchants to start with. And so as soon as we have those, then we're ready to go. We can add more as we get into it. But we'd like to have that kind of that good diversity to get this thing rolled out. So the goal is to get 12 to 15 merchants. And I have a lot of confidence that we'll have more than that when we roll this thing out.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great thing. If we can roll this out, the sooner the better, so that we can, jump at the Christmas shopping time. That's pretty much all the questions that I had.
Yeah, we worked really hard to make sure we had the agreements kind of signed, get city attorney comments and get them signed, so we have those ready, so we get approved today. We can get our signatures and we can jump on this right away.
Perfect. Great. Thank you guys for the presentation.
You're welcome.
Great. Any other questions from other council members?
No?
All right.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to pass item 4.
A second. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that. And so item number 5, I just wanted to bring up real quick. I just wanted to know why we're reauthorizing a RFP.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to expand on this. In the process, when we issued the first RFP, staff did a very good job in creating the RFP, but some of the vendors asked a few questions, and staff provided incorrect responses, so that created an issue with selecting a vendor, because some of the vendors did not apply for this project based on staff's comments in regard to some of the questions that were asked. So we worked with our legal counsel and we determined that it's in the city's best interest to go ahead and reject all bids and reissue a new RFP. It was definitely a learning experience for staff, and we've evolved and learned from it. And although we are a few months behind, we are ready to go. We have our internal department-wide team, and I feel very confident we will be bringing this back to City Council within the next few months to award a contract. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And then just to double check, the RFP will be asking for the new website redesign to be ADA compliant and of course ADA friendly, correct?
Absolutely. We will be incorporating all the best practices known. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So I will go. Any other questions from staff?
Yeah.
Council before I make a.
I just have one quick question, Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
Manny, do you know what an ETA would be for us to get this website up and running? Just an estimated timeline?
I would say we will be selecting a vendor within the next few months. In regards to developing the content, training staff, I would think that would probably be, and this is just a guesstimation, probably 6 to 9 months. But we would definitely fast track this as much as possible.
Please. Thank you, Manny. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for that, Manny. So at this moment, I will make a motion to approve item number 5. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, we do have a public hearing, this time for real. Is that correct, City Attorney? So yeah, a public hearing and adoption, second reading of ordinance number 1471, adopting the 2022 California Building Code, 2022 California Residential Code with appendices I and K, 2022 California Existing Building Code, 2022 California Mechanical Code, etc. So staff recommends that we conduct a public hearing and then close the public hearing. So at this moment, I will formally open the public hearing for anybody looking to speak in favor. So if you are looking to speak in favor of this of the ordinance, now is your time. Oh, okay. So simultaneous, or you can speak in favor or against at this time. Nobody? Seeing that nobody is looking to speak, I will close the public hearing and find that the adoption of this ordinance is exempt from the requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act. And And item number 3, well, I believe we will make a motion. So I will make a motion to adopt the ordinance number 1471 entitled, I have to read the whole thing. Entitled, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Baldwin Park, California, amending Chapter 150 of Title 15 and adding new sections to Chapter 150 to Title 15 of the Baldwin Park Municipal Code, adopting by reference Title 24 of the California Code of Regulations, specifically adopting the 2022 California Building Code, 2022 California Residential Code with appendices I and K, 2022 California Existing Building Code, 2022 California Mechanical Code, 2022 California Plumbing Code, 2022 California Electrical Code, 2022 California Green Building and Standards Code, 2022 California Energy Code, 2022 California Historical Code, 2022 California Reference Standards Code, 2022 California Fire Code, and 2023 Los Angeles County Fire Code, including all appendices as mandated by the California Health and Safety Code Section 18938. That is my motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Avila. City Clerk, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, we do have a reports of officers. Adopt a resolution appointing Best and Krieger LLP, also known as BBK, as the city's permanent city attorney and approving a legal services agreement for legal services. I will go ahead and hand this over to our city manager, who I believe did do due diligence regarding requests from other council members.
And Mayor, before you get to that, just like the last time, I will need to recuse myself from this item and step off the dais.
Okay, thank you for that. And Enrique, you can.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Per council's direction from the last meeting, when you approved the interim agreement for legal services from BBK, you asked me to pursue, immediately following the meeting, the negotiations of a agreement for permanent services. And we as staff appreciate the fact that you want to bring full stability to a part of the organization, because so many of our city business requires legal review, requires legal opinions, legal assistance. So we as staff appreciate the fact that you have given it a very high priority to bring stability to this aspect of the city business. So in doing so, I sat down with BBK to consider the fact that it's no longer an interim agreement, but it's a permanent agreement that we were considering, that the council would consider, and that based on that notion that they ought to provide us with better rates, meaning lower rates, and they did. And so the agreement that I have brought forth is responsive to the fact that it is now a permanent agreement that we're considering, or that I'm recommending that you approve, to bring BBK as the permanent city attorney and bring that much needed stability to that aspect of our city business. So with that, I recommend that you approve the proposed agreement.
Great, thank you for that, city manager. And then at this moment, if city council has any questions or comments, now is your time. If not, I will go ahead and make a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-062, appointing Best and Krieger as the city's permanent city attorney, effective as of the date of the execution of the agreement. City clerk, oh, sorry, can I get a second?
Second.
City clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that, city clerk. So at this moment, we are city council acting as successor agency of the dissolved Community Development Commission, and we do have a, oh, yes, city attorney. I was too eager to keep going.
We need to have a beer.
Go ahead. It's okay, you're official, you can sit down. City Council acting as success, of course, welcoming our permanent city attorney from BBK. Thank you. City Council acting as successor agency of the dissolved Community Development Commission. We do have a consent calendar, so I will go ahead and make a motion to pass that consent calendar. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that, City Clerk. And before we go to our comments, I am going to open up well, it's already open, so I'm going to the Finance Authority regular meeting. We do have a consent calendar, and that is our treasurer's report for September 2022. I will go ahead and make a motion to pass that consent calendar. Can I get a second? City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you. Chair Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Board Member Alejandra Avila, Vice Chair Daniel Damian,
Yes.
Board Member Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Board Member Paul Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. And we do have a agenda for our Housing Authority regular meeting. We have a consent calendar regarding warrants and demands and our treasurer's report. So I will go ahead and make a motion to pass the consent calendar. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Chair Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Board Member Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Vice Chair Daniel Damian,
Yes.
Board Member Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Board Member Paul Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that, City Clerk. And we are down to City Council, City Clerk, City Treasurer, staff requests, and communications. I did have a couple of comments that didn't get onto the agenda. So I know that we are trying to work with our Regency Hotel, the new owners of the Regency Hotel, to develop that property. So we want to make sure we follow up and see what we can do to support them. Habitat for Humanity, I visited the Stewart site on Los Angeles, and they are more than ready to start construction and rehabilitation to turn that property into affordable homeownership opportunities. But that property does currently house, I believe, 2 nonprofits, so they do have to find space for them to relocate. So I want to make sure that we can work with them, see if we can house them at our Family Service Center. And that is it for now. So Mayor Pro Tem, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I would like to request discussion and consideration to explore bringing back the first-time home buyer program and as well as ADU grants. So I would like to direct staff to provide a staff report with options and available resources. It would be good, obviously, the first-time home buyer program to help our residents purchase their first home. The ADU grant program would be something that would help current homeowners being able to develop an ADU, which would also help them with rental income, but would also help our tenants in the city looking for an affordable place to rent. So if staff can bring back a report with options and available resources. That is all I have.
Great. I think that's a great idea, Mayor Pro Tem. I think both are. I know, I think it's just a matter of getting down to the fine details of it. I think Arcadia, or actually Alhambra, has a very nice homeownership program. That might be something we can look into, get some ideas off of. If that's okay with you. Alhambra, sorry.
Yeah, definitely explore options, see what other programs are out there. I know that CalHAFA currently has an ADU grant program, so maybe look at the guidelines that they have. Obviously, we want to make it, easier for our residents to be able to apply for these programs because some of the state programs have a lot of red tape to them. So let's just explore what options are there and then also our funding sources.
Good idea. Good. Any other comments, Mayor Pro Tem?
Nope, that was all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. I know we touched on this topic, but just want to double check with Councilwoman Garcia, see if she has any more comments regarding her topic.
No, not at this time. I think, we'll wait for the next briefing on public safety and also the land use planning report. I think Ron Garcia will be able to fill us in at the next opportunity when he's back.
Great.
He's back in the office.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you for that. And then just double checking with any other council members, if you have any questions, comments, concerns before we end this meeting.
Mayor. If I could say something really quick,
Yes,
please.
City Clerk.
Thank you. I just wanted to publicly thank the Baldwin Park Police Department. Last Friday, I was headed to my 40th high school reunion, and I was waiting at a stop signal and unfortunately got rear-ended. And it was quite scary. I'm doing okay. I was not looking behind or forward. I was looking at the 7-Eleven, and which was a good thing. So I didn't realize that I was going to be hit. So, but immediately I called the police department, and the dispatchers were professional. Police officers arrived right away. They were extremely professional, very compassionate. I was lucky that I could drive my car away, head back home. The individual that hit me was not as fortunate. He had to be towed away. But again, I think it's just important that we praise our police department. I don't have the name of the officers, Chief, but if you could please, I'm sure you have the report. Please thank them on my behalf. Again, they were just exceptional. And so I appreciate that. And I think we need to be careful. Unfortunately, the driver who hit me, his airbag went off. And I suspect that he was probably busy on his cell phone. And he hit me head on, or with full speed that he was coming. And so it's just we need to educate our residents to drive carefully and be focused on the road and not on our cell phones. So thank you to the police department, and thank you to those who reached out. I'm okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
I was
I'm
able to
happy
make it to my 40th reunion too.
And I'm happy to hear you're okay and see that you're okay.
Thank you.
Great. Glad to hear. And good to hear you're having good interactions with RPD. I'm sure all of our residents are. So if there's no more comments, questions, or concerns, we are ready to adjourn the meeting. Out of respect to our Councilmember Hernandez, we will adjourn in memory of Rebecca Delgado Gonzalez. And we just want to reiterate that we are here to support our councilmember during his tough times and his family. I will move to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
City clerk, oh, no city clerk. Any objections? Not, meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, Marie.